Welcome back, my friends. Today, we have a heavyweight clash at the Relia Quest Bowl. It's Alabama versus Michigan, a game steeped in history, pride, and, most importantly, opportunity. Let's set the stage. Alabama enters with a 9-3 record. Sure, it's been a season of transition under new head coach Kalen DeBoer, but don't mistake this for a team in decline. The Crimson Tide's offense is a machine, ranked 15th in the nation in scoring and led by the dynamic Jalen Milroe. Milroe isn't just a quarterback, he's a weapon, with over 3,300 yards and 35 touchdowns, 20 of those coming on the ground. He's flanked by a backfield duo, Jam Miller and Justice Haynes, who've combined for over 1,100 rushing yards. Michigan, on the other hand, comes in at 7-5, a far cry from their national title run just a year ago. They've struggled offensively, ranking 100th in scoring and dead last, 130th, in passing. Senior quarterback Davis Warren has been inconsistent at best, and with Donovan Edwards out, the Wolverines' offense hinges on Kalel Mullings. While Mullings has been reliable, the question remains, can he shoulder the load against Alabama's 10th-ranked scoring defense? Speaking of defense, both teams have their challenges. Alabama's Jihad Campbell is a force with 108 tackles and 5 sacks, but injuries to key defenders like Malachi Moore and Deontay Lawson leave some gaps. Michigan's defense, ranked 18th in scoring, will be without stars Will Johnson and Mason Graham, which could spell trouble against Milroe and company. Now, let's talk stakes. Alabama isn't just playing to win, they're playing to remind the world who they are. Missing the playoffs and losing to Michigan in last year's semifinals, that's fuel for a fire that's been burning all season. And Michigan, they may have spent everything they had in their emotional win over Ohio State. Can they find that intensity again with so many key pieces missing? So, here's the moment you've been waiting for. Today's AI pick is Alabama minus 13.5. This Tide team is hungry, dangerous, and built to dominate a Wolverines squad that's simply outmatched. Roll Tide, my friends. Good luck, and I'll see you in the next game.
Welcome back, my friends. The Sun Bowl is upon us, and we're looking at a fascinating matchup between the Louisville Cardinals and the Washington Huskies. Two teams with contrasting paths this season, but only one can emerge victorious. Let's dig in. The Louisville Cardinals come into this game at 8-4, wrapping up their season with a dominating win over Kentucky. But there's a major issue they'll be without their starting quarterback Tyler Show. Show has declared for the draft after an impressive season, with over 3,100 passing yards and a 23-6 touchdown-to-interception ratio. In his place, senior Harrison Bailey takes over. Bailey has seen minimal action, attempting just 8 passes this season. Without Show, Louisville will lean heavily on their run game, led by the dynamic freshman Isaac Brown, who's amassed over 1,000 rushing yards this season. Duke Watson adds another 500 yards to the ground attack. However, the loss of top receiver Jacquerie Brooks, also out due to draft preparations, limits the Cardinals' already depleted offense. Defensively, Louisville has been inconsistent. They rank 75th against the pass and 42nd against the run, giving up an average of 23.3 points per game. Solid at times, but vulnerable to a well-prepared opponent. Now, let's turn to Washington. The Huskies squeaked into bowl eligibility with a 6-6 record, but don't let that fool you. This team has been tested in the grueling Big Ten, securing impressive wins over USC and UCLA. They've made a bold move by benching Will Rogers in favor of freshman quarterback Demond Williams. Williams was spectacular in his last outing, completing 85% of his passes against top-ranked Oregon. On the season, he's yet to throw an interception, posting a clean 4-0 touchdown ratio. The Huskies also feature Jonah Coleman, a powerhouse running back with over 1,000 yards this season. While their passing game isn't flashy, it's efficient, led by contributors like Denzel Boston and Giles Jackson. Defensively, Washington shines against the pass, ranking 5th nationally. However, their rush defense, ranked 75th, could be tested by Louisville's ground game. Here's the kicker: Louisville is missing their top playmakers, while Washington is surging behind their freshman QB. The Huskies' passing attack matches up perfectly against Louisville's shaky secondary. Add in Washington's Big Ten battle-tested defense, and the edge becomes clear. And today's AI pick is Washington Huskies 2.5. The Huskies are ready to rise, and with a quarterback like Demond Williams leading the charge, expect them to seize this opportunity. Good luck, my friends, and I'll see you in the next game.
Ah, the Cheez-It Citrus Bowl. A game of grit, glory, and a whole lot of crunch. Today, we've got the South Carolina Gamecocks squaring off against the Illinois Fighting Illini. Both teams bring 9-3 records, but trust me, this one's not as even as it looks. Let's break it down. South Carolina comes in red hot, riding a 6-game winning streak that has them playing some of their best football of the season. Sure, they narrowly missed out on a college football playoff spot, but don't think for a second they'll let that disappointment linger. This team is focused, loaded, and ready to make a statement. The Gamecocks' identity starts in the trenches. Their defense ranks in the top 20 nationally, built on size, speed, and physicality. And their offense? It's all about pounding the rock. They rank 34th in rushing yards per game, and average the 9th most carries nationally. Against an Illinois defense that ranks 73rd against the run, this is a matchup tailor-made for South Carolina to dominate. Freshman quarterback Lanarus Sellers has been stellar, showing poise beyond his years. If he takes another step forward in this game, it won't matter what Illinois brings to the table. Now, let's talk about Illinois. The Fighting Illini are coming off a strong finish, winning 3 straight to close out the regular season, including a rivalry win. But here's the catch. Their metrics don't match their record. Their defense ranks 71st nationally, and their offense isn't much better at 91st. Sure, quarterback Luke Altmaier has been efficient, with 21 touchdowns and just 5 interceptions. But without explosive weapons, besides Pat Bryant, the Illini offense might struggle to keep up. And the injuries? They're piling up for Illinois, with several wide receivers, a tight end, and a running back either out or questionable. Against an SEC opponent like South Carolina, depth matters, and the Illini simply don't have the firepower to compete in the trenches or in space. Here's the bottom line. South Carolina's elite defense, dominant run game, and superior athleticism are the difference makers here. Illinois has had a good season, but this is where the road ends. And today's AI pick is South Carolina, 10. The Gamecocks will control the clock, win the battle in the trenches, and close out 2024 with a resounding victory. Best of luck, my friends, and I'll see you in the next game.
The Kinders Texas Bowl, a showdown that promises high-octane action and a test of grit. Baylor versus LSU, 2 teams that have clawed their way to this point. Now, the question is who will emerge victorious. Let's break it down. The Baylor Bears come in riding a 6-game winning streak, a remarkable turnaround after starting the season 2-4. They've built their identity on a dynamic offense, averaging nearly 435 yards and 34.7 points per game. Quarterback Sawyer Robertson has been steady and efficient, throwing for over 2,600 yards and 26 touchdowns while limiting mistakes. Baylor's rushing attack, averaging 188 yards per game, gives them a balanced defensive edge. Defensively, Baylor isn't perfect but has shown resilience, holding their final 2 opponents under 20 points. They've forced 13 interceptions this season and have the ability to pressure quarterbacks with 23 sacks. Against an LSU offense that thrives on passing but struggles to run the ball, Baylor's opportunistic defense could be the deciding factor. Now, on to LSU. The Tigers bring a dangerous offense to the table, led by quarterback Garrett Nussmeier, who ranks 7th in the nation in passing yards. Nussmeier has thrown for over 3,700 yards and 26 touchdowns but also has 11 interceptions. The LSU run game, however, leaves much to be desired, averaging just 116 yards per game. If Nussmeier isn't at full strength as listed as questionable, Tigers may find themselves in a tough spot offensively. Defensively, LSU has been inconsistent. While their front 7 is capable of creating pressure, racking up 33 sacks this season, they've been vulnerable against the run, allowing 4.5 yards per carry. That's a glaring weakness when facing a Baylor offense built to exploit exactly that. Here's the bottom line: Baylor's balanced offense and opportunistic defense make them the more complete team in this matchup. LSU's reliance on Nussmeier and their inability to stop the run will be their undoing. In today's AI pick is Baylor 3.5. Expect the Bears to control the clock, capitalize on LSU's defensive lapses, and extend their winning streak to 7. Stay sharp, my friends, and I'll see you in the next game.
The Viabo Fiesta Bowl is here, my friends, and it doesn't get much bigger than this. The college football playoff quarterfinals bring us the Penn State Nittany Lions and the Boise State Broncos. 2 powerhouse programs, 1 ticket to the semifinals. Let's dive in. Penn State comes in with momentum after dismantling SMU in the opening round. Their defense stole the show, scoring 2 pick sixes and shutting down the Mustangs' offense. On offense, junior quarterback Drew Aller leads the charge with over 3,000 passing yards and 21 touchdowns. Running backs Nicholas Singleton and Caton Allen are a dynamic duo, combining for over 1,800 rushing yards and 16 touchdowns. Add in tight end Tyler Warren, with over 1,000 yards receiving, and this is a balanced attack. Defensively, Penn State is elite, ranking 6th in points allowed. Linebacker Dominic DeLuca and defensive end Abdul Carter anchor a unit that's racked up 36 sacks this season. Now, Boise State. The Broncos earned a bye to this game after winning the Mountain West Championship. Running back Ashton Jeanty is the star of the show, rushing for a jaw-dropping 2,400 yards and 29 touchdowns this season. Jeanty is a game-changer, capable of controlling the clock and field position. Sophomore quarterback Maddox Madsen has been efficient, with 22 touchdowns and only 3 interceptions. Boise's defense isn't far behind, ranking 33rd in points allowed and leading the nation with 51 sacks. Here's the bottom line: Boise State's running game and efficient offense make them a dangerous underdog. Penn State's defense is exceptional, but Boise has the tools to limit possessions and keep this game close. And today's AI pick is Boise State plus 1-2. Expect the Broncos to cover in what should be a tightly contested battle. Now, a quick recap of today's picks. Game 1, Alabama minus 13.5. Game 2, Washington plus 2.5. Game 3, South Carolina minus 10. Game 4, Baylor minus 3.5. Game 5, Boise State plus 1-2. Good luck, my friends, and as always, we'll see you in the next video.